missed the tournament.
Yeah.
You jerk. Yeah. What's your excuse?
You missed the Germ Fest. You should tell people, like, nobody knows. You've said tournament.
It's supposed to be vague and questioning.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I work for a nonprofit.
There was a golf tournament.
We had our annual golf tournament, which is redneck themed, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. And
I'm usually there.
You're usually there. You usually put in a team. I passed. We created a team together, and then I abandoned you and passed the team off to you, so I could create more teams, so the tournament could grow. And you and your whole team. Well, 2 of your former members put in their own teams this year. So.
Oh yeah, Pete had his own team?
No, Aaron. But Aaron's been putting his own team in for a little while. But Jeremy
and I'm usually just a part of that
been
now.
Playing with you lately.
Oh yeah, he has in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, Pete didn't. I tried to get Pete on my team, but he was also busy. So
see,
I
wasn't gonna make the tournament regardless. You know those days where it's like that one day on the calendar that there's like 6 different things going on and they all want you to be a part of it, and you can't possibly make all of them. That was this past Saturday. There was a wedding that I was supposed to attend as a guest. Which was sort of taking precedence over everything else.
I don't see how, but okay.
Well, there was another event that I was supposed to go work at that wanted to hire me to come work for.
Right.
Which I had to say no to. And there was the golf tournament. And I felt, I was feeling a little crummy about not being able to make the golf tournament, but I was excited for this wedding, but I had a cold. Like I woke up and I was feeling like not 100. I was like, I had all the clothes out and the clothes were ironed and ready to go, and I was gonna go to this wedding anyways and just kind of suck it up and blah blah blah. But then there was someone at the wedding, someone who I knew was going to be at the wedding that was immune compromised. And Brienne said, maybe you should take a COVID test. And I was like, well, it's not COVID, but yeah, I guess at least that way we can tell people, like, for sure, hey, it's just a cold, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, sure. And we had some left over from forever ago that turned out were not expired. And we're like, okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. I'll take a COVID test. I ended up taking 2 COVID tests just to confirm the results that I got. And both said, you stay at home, pal. You got COVID.
Yeah, you seem to attract that coof like nobody's business.
So I've had COVID twice now.
Yeah.
Since you've joined the podcast.
Just since.
Never,
at least 2 times prior to that, didn't you?
No. This is only my second time having COVID.
Oh, so you're blaming me?
No, I'm not. I'm not suggesting causality. I am just pointing out a correlation, a potential correlation. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
The B team.
That in perfectly good health friend of mine over there is Carl.
And sick doggo there is Brady.
Yeah. I think I'm on the mend.
Yeah.
I think compared to last time I had COVID, I was like,
you're a healthy young man, so COVID shouldn't affect you that much.
No, I know, but last time it like knocked me out. Like last time it was a full 7 days, and it was like, yeah, like there was a 2-day period last time where I was just running a temperature, but and like coughing nonstop. But what during that time, like if I took a sip of even room temperature water, my whole body would plummet in temperature, and I would be shivering and like, oh, it was awful. It was like my body forgot how to regulate its own temperature.
Crazy.
So, but anyways, this is like day 3, I think, of COVID. And I think I might be into the like just getting all the gunk out of me now stage. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't. I've never had it.
No, but just like when you have a cold, right? When you're like, okay, I don't think I'm actually like sick anymore, but I'm still congested and I just got to cough all this stuff out of me. So I think that might be the stage I'm in. Either that or I'm in a lull between stages, and and the worst is yet to come, but we'll see, and hopefully not. So, but the Movie Men podcast does not rest for COVID. It does not slow down. It does not stop.
Only for vacation.
Only for lying on a beach, apparently. So screw you. And we told you. I told you the other day. I just laid out the analytics. I was, look, dude, the show does a lot better when you're not on vacation. So, you know, abandon your family and just do the podcast. And you're like, okay, I'm sorry. So we're back. We're back for another news episode. A little bit of like it's a different lineup for topics this week. A lot of some actual comic book nerdy stuff, like what we normally talk about, but a little bit more like movie world logistics and some things that are actually going to impact you as a consumer of media. So I'm excited to jump into this. Carl, are you ready, sir?
I am. Do you want to hear about what's happening in our world first? Before we jump into our fictional worlds that are created for us.
I got COVID brain.
Yeah.
COVID brain.
All right.
Yeah. So hit me
I
up
got
with
3 for you again.
I
got 3 for you again to pick from.
Okay. All right.
And I will tease them in a fun way that doesn't reveal too much. All right. The first choice is a real life Armageddon movie recreation from the 1998 blockbuster with Bruce Willis. That's choice number 1. Cyborgs, the potential for real world cyborgs is choice number 2. Like, so cyborgs are like human robot combination, right?
Yeah.
And then the third option is space travel that is akin to something we've seen in Star Wars.
Okay. All right. So here's my line of thinking for what I'm going to choose. I think I'm ruling out cyborgs only because I'm one of those people that, like, if you have like a prosthetic arm that has like open and close capabilities, I already consider you a cyborg.
Okay.
Right? People with like cochlear implants so they can hear better and stuff like it, to me, you're already half man, half machine. So I already think we have cyborgs, so I'm going to rule that out. The next one I'm ruling out, I think, is the Armageddon one. Because, and this is going to, like, Carl's going to have a visceral and violent reaction here. I don't think I've seen Armageddon.
What?
So
is that the greatest film? But what? Come on.
Right. So, but space travel is something I'm very interested in, and something that I'm actually even going to be able to comment on further, because I just watched this ridiculous like 3-hour documentary on the future of space travel like 4 months ago, but I don't know that it has anything necessarily, like, it doesn't sound similar to what you're talking about. So hit me up. Talk to me about Star Wars space travel.
All right. In fashion that we have been doing, I'll kind of reveal what the other 2 were. So the Armageddon one, there is an asteroid that orbits or comes close to the Earth every 6 years or something like that, called Bennu. And it's like it's pretty big. If it hit the Earth, it'd be the equivalent of 22 atom bombs. And NASA is looking at a way to blow it up because there's a potential it could hit the Earth in like 128 years from now.
Oh. Well, I mean, okay.
So very similar to Armageddon, the movie.
I mean,
they're not sending a manned team. They're looking at sending
some drones
and
things.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, my thought on that kind of is like, oh, it'll be interesting to watch when that happens, whether it succeeds or not. But ultimately, if it doesn't succeed, I'll be like, so, but we're still all okay, right? Like, I don't know.
For 120 something years, anyway.
Yeah, my potential great grandchildren are kind of boned, but I don't know. It feels like we'll get another shot at it in 128 years with 128 years worth of technological advancements. Yeah. So, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and this isn't the first time they've taken a shot at an asteroid in this manner. They did it in 2022 as well. A smaller asteroid as a test. Anyway, the cyborg thing. Everybody knows, and some like and some hate Elon Musk. They've developed something called the Neuralink. Have you heard of the Neuralink?
Oh yeah.
So I'll just read his post. His X from September because they've gotten approval for human trials. So the first human patient will soon receive Neuralink. This ultimately has the potential to restore full body movement for those that are disabled. In a long term, Neuralink hopes to play a role in AI risk civilization risks reductions by improving human to AI and human to human bandwidth by several orders of magnitude.
Yeah,
imagine if Stephen Hawking had this.
Which is...
So
I don't know. All the time, there's like technological advancements, and you have those naysayers that are like, "Oh, should we really be going down this road? Is this smart? Is it what?" And a lot of the time, I'm like, "Shut up! Like, you guys are just worried. You're overthinking things. Like, you've watched too many sci-fi movies. Like, it's fine." This time, I don't know. Like, this is a big leap into changing what a human even actually is, and like, I don't know. It's scary technology, and I also wonder, like, this whole, like, it's crazy that it's been approved for human trials.
Yeah,
and I wonder how much of that has to do with the science that they've proven. And how much of that has to do with it's Elon Musk, right?
The article says that it's been approved by non-related. I don't know how. I can't remember the word. I closed the article already, but it's been approved by people not connected to Musk in any way or whatever. That it's okay to test on humans now. So people have to sign up to agree that this is that they'll be part of these trials, right? And like. He's talking about like full body movement, but the article made it seem like, okay, they're really just like you were talking about, like the robotic hand thing. Yeah, and those hands, from my understanding, are more they work off of like muscle interactions in the arm,
like your nerves,
or the person actually has to touch a button or a lever or something. And the Neuralink will let them do it through thought.
Right. Yeah, like Stephen Hawking's speech thing was like twitches in his cheek, right? Like his cheek muscles. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also kind of hoping that this only really takes off after my time because it's cool.
There is some scary stuff too about it. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's like cyberpunk stuff starting to.
Yeah, because everyone's like, well, what happens when AI takes over? And I'm like, okay,
AI chip in your brain.
Yeah, it's like what happens when
brain.
AI takes over? Okay, great. Yeah, that's one thing. What happens when AI takes over and it has access and control over human bodies?
Yeah. Anyway, but you picked space travel. So,
yeah.
A research project called Breakthrough Starshot has updated their plans and to send a probe to Alpha Centauri, our closest neighboring star system, which we're talking about space here. So close is relative. Alpha Centauri is apparently 40 trillion kilometers away from Earth.
It's a good hike. Yeah.
It take you a little bit to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you get there, there's probably not much there.
Yeah. But this space travel system thing that they're creating, they're speculating that they could get this probe there in 20 years. Jeez. Which that's pretty impressive if you ask me. It is. I think, yeah. I'm going to send you the link to this article here in Facebook. But the space travel thing is, they're calling it a light sail powered by millions of lasers, which, if you remember Attack of the Clones, Count Dooku had like what they called a solar sailor in Star Wars. And it looks like some of the renderings look really similar.
Very similar.
But it's the biggest difference is there's not any kind of thing being dragged behind it. Like the probe, the computer and everything is right inside it. And if you scroll down a little further, there's actually a little video of it being, of what they're kind of hoping this will work like. And essentially what's happening is there's not lasers on the probe that are pushing it through space. The lasers are on Earth. So there's like there's like 100,000 satellite lasers or something. I don't know how many satellites they'll need to make that many lasers, but there's a bunch of satellites on Earth that will shoot lasers at this sail and propel it through the galaxy and into another galaxy. No, wait, not another galaxy, another solar system. Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy. And it, like, the way it flies, it starts out being propelled, but then in the video, it looks like it flattens out and it flies more like a Frisbee.
Right.
Once it gets its momentum up, because once you have momentum in space, there's no friction to stop it, right? So, I guess once it gets going, they don't need to hit it with lasers anymore. I don't know. But
I was watching this documentary that was outlining the next however many years of space travel advancement, and basically like what the active plan is.
Okay.
Specifically in terms, I think this was in terms of like colonizing other worlds was kind of the, like getting people to live on Mars. Right. And I think Elon was featured probably quite a bit. It was several months ago, but I think he was in this documentary.
He's got big plans for Mars.
And basically it was like, everything starts with a moon base.
Yeah.
We have to have a moon base. And the reason we have to have a moon base is because we need to be able to mine moon resources. And the question for the longest time was, wow, how could you do that without how can you have people staying on the moon without there being water on the moon? And what they've discovered is, one of the more recent discoveries is that, like, in the lower craters, the craters that don't ever see sun because of how deep the crater is on the moon, there actually is ice there.
Yeah, in the South Pole. There, yeah.
Yes.
This is something I've gotten a bunch of stuff about this, because the probe that's up there is actually from India.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a new space race happening between India, China and Russia right now to get to the
so
moon.
the big thing is, so there's this
India
ice.
won it.
There's this ice, and the ice is made of water, and water is made of hydrogen and oxygen. So if we can get this water and split it, then we'll have oxygen for the people living on the moon.
Right.
And we'll have hydrogen, which is the main component in the fuel that we use for space travel. And so, and then there was this whole thing about like, there was this whole thing about building a space station colony, basically.
Yeah.
And the biggest hurdle right now in that is the cost. Because the largest part of the cost in space travel right now, the most expenditure of fuel in space travel, is simply just leaving Earth's atmosphere, is fighting Earth's gravity and getting out of the atmosphere. So if we can remove that from the equation, if we can have something take off from Earth, but then very shortly after refuel at this space station or whatever, then from there, our ability to, do slingshotting around the moon and whatever else to get people moved to and living on Mars is, but this was all like, they're like, in the next 10 years, we'll have people living and working on the moon.
Shortly after that discovery of the water, the ice on the moon, there was an article came across my feeds that talking about some theories about how it got there. That's pretty interesting too. Because the theory is there's a theory about it. It's not from the moon. The moon doesn't have any source of water. The theory is it came from Earth somehow. There's science behind it that I don't remember, but it was pretty interesting that this somehow water from Earth ended up on the moon.
Well, and there's been theories for years that that at one point the moon did have an atmosphere is one theory. There's a theory that it's water that is, for the longest time, there was a theory, and maybe this is still a theory. If you look at, I don't know if it's Mars or something, one of the planets have like sort of a not quite circular shape, right? Okay. Like it's mostly circular, but it kind of dips in a little bit on the one side and kind of bulges out on the opposite side a little bit. And so there was a theory for the longest time. I remember this back when I was in like public school, that the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was actually like that a massive asteroid had hit, I think it was Mars, or had hit one of these planets and had hit with such force that it like lodged itself into the center of it, broke a chunk off the other side, at the same time destroying that planet's atmosphere and depleting Mars or whatever of all its water, but that sent a chunk of Mars hurtling towards the Earth, and what hit the Earth and actually killed all the dinosaurs was a chunk of this other planet. But you're talking about space travel in the solar system, you got theories for days. But
well, especially when it comes to the past.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So cool. I look forward to it. I look forward to visiting another solar system.
Yeah, and
especially when we fail to destroy this comet that's going to hit the Earth.
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah,
and if movies have taught me anything, when we fail to destroy this comet that's going to hit the Earth, and the comet hits the Earth, it'll happen somewhere in the United States.
Oh, definitely, always, or just
going to happen in North America. Yeah, or just offshore, and it'll kill all of us. Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Because we're so important.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of movies,
let's get into our news for today. Now, for a long time, there has been digital movie options. You can stream your movies, or you can buy digital copies of your movies. Kind of, sort of, buy digital copies of your movies. In some cases, buying a digital copy of your movie depends on where you buy that movie from, right? Some services, you can buy a copy of the movie, and then you just have a file, and that file is yours, and there's your movie. More often than not, though, you buy a digital copy of a movie and it's like, okay, and then you have to log into the service that you bought it from in order to watch it.
Yeah.
And they don't let you download a copy of it because they want to...
Then you can share it.
Yeah, they basically want to prevent you from just sharing it around, right? It's a pirating safeguard. And so for many people, and not just in movies, but video games, for many people... owning a physical disc, owning the physical media has still been an important thing to them. Especially because a lot of these digital buying options or digital watching options have been pretty slow in terms of also including all your behind-the-scenes bonus features that you would also get when you bought a DVD or a Blu-ray. Right? A great example being my extended edition of Lord of the Rings has like 30 hours. The Lord of the Rings extended edition appendices, which is just like hours and hours and hours and hours of not only like behind the scenes of how they made Lord of the Rings, but I've heard many people talk about how you can watch like the behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings is essentially film school. Like you can watch that and learn a lot of the things that you need to learn about how to make a movie. Like it's really, truly incredible. So a lot of people are still physical media collectors. They like the way it looks on the shelf. Sometimes there's steel books, there's collector's boxes, there's, whatever. And we've been predicting for a long time and talking for a long time about how we know that someday that era is going to come to an end. A little while back, about a year or so ago, Samsung, the largest producer at the time of Blu-ray players, came out and said, that's it. We're not going to make any more we're getting out of the Blu-ray player game. We're not going to do it anymore. And everyone was like, okay. This is the next, this is the first sign. One of the seals have been broken. But nobody really panicked because everyone who needed a Blu-ray player had a Blu-ray player, or you can still, there's 1,000 other brands that are still making them. Well, it has now come out that Target, a store that is no longer existent in Canada, was briefly.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. And Canada was like, no, we don't want your red Walmart. Take it back. But is still going strong in the States, has now come out and said that they are stopping the sales of DVDs, Blu-rays, and CDs in their stores.
Yep. Sounds about right.
It's happening. It is now upon us. And listen, I don't really collect physical media anymore. I haven't for a long time. Probably about 5-6 years since I bought my last DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah. Same here. Or video game physically.
Or video game. Yeah. But there is something a little bit sad about this, in the sense that digital film, or films purchasable digitally, have not gone the way that I think a lot of us sort of believed it was going to go. In that you could, for the longest time, track down, and you still can, you can track down some pretty old, rare, classic, deep cut, indie, cult whatever films on physical media.
Yeah.
Right? And if you have your copy of Ernest Goes to Jail or, whatever it is, then you have that copy and it's sitting on your shelf and that's yours. And as long as you treat it well, it will always be there. It's not always so easy to find a digital copy of some of the films you want to watch.
Yeah. And even more difficult to find where to stream it.
Exactly. Right? And so this weird thing I think is going to happen because we sort of believed, okay, everything's going digital, which means these films will live somewhere on a hard drive in perpetuity and they'll always be there. And this will be amazing because the access to films is just going to be greater and grander than it's ever been. And it hasn't been that. It hasn't been that. And furthermore, stuff can drop off of streaming services. Stuff drops off of streaming services all the time. Well, and then it's just gone.
Yeah, and it's not like it was or it's on a different streaming service. Like it's not all in one place.
Exactly. And what happens when one of these services where you have to, you've bought a digital copy of this and you have to log in. Let's say you, Carl. I know for the longest time that you rented a lot of your movies through the Xbox store for a while.
Still do. Yeah.
Still do. And I know you can also go on and purchase movies that way, right? A lot of people do. You purchase seasons of TV shows, you purchase movies. So what happens?
This is a few. Yeah.
This is a weird example because it's Microsoft, right? This is a bigger example and probably less likely to happen. But what happens if let's say you had 200 movies that you've purchased, your whole collection at this point is just through Xbox. And then tomorrow Xbox folds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It crumbles. What happens to all the stuff that you own?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So do you really own it? Or are you just paying to have access to it?
Yeah.
Same with the digital games.
Even if it doesn't fold, even if I mentioned Apple, the same thing can be done with Apple or where anyway. But if I decide I'm done with Microsoft, I'm going to be an Apple user and right.
Yeah, I just threw up
done with Microsoft, and so I ditch my Xbox. I pick up a Nintendo. Yeah, I don't mind that. That wouldn't be bad. But then I ditch my Samsung and I pick it. Yeah, anything I've bought for the Xbox, anything I bought. Yeah, it's not mine anymore. Yeah, well, it's still mine.
Never was.
It's out there somewhere. But I don't have access to it anymore.
You don't have access to it. And there's something interesting, when it comes to streaming services, it's funny how, take Netflix, for example. There are properties on Netflix, properties that Netflix is licensing, right? That could disappear at any moment. And there's this really bizarre dynamic where if Netflix is constantly wanting to drop a lot of the content that they have, because if Netflix has to pay, they have to pay to license this content to put it on their service, right? And if a piece of content on their service is not bringing in new subscribers, then it's not making them any money. Right? Even if a lot of people are watching it, if it's not bringing in new subscribers, it's not making them any money. And now with new
they
deals,
probably do look at retention numbers numbers that people are watching it for retention, but but retention isn't making money. It's not new money coming in. Yeah.
And in fact, now with things like residuals coming into streaming, every time Carl clicks on Mean Girls to watch Mean Girls, it's actually costing Netflix. Because now every time someone watches that, Netflix has to pay out. Because they're streaming, someone's watching a piece of work where residuals are due to those who were involved and were in it and helped make it a thing. Mm-hmm. So it's this kind of weird wild, wild west now without look, I have no intention of going out and stocking up on my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But I also do have I still have a healthy collection.
Yep.
And I have no intention
from back when you did buy and you needed to buy and yeah.
Yeah. And I have no intention of getting rid of any of them either. I'm not in a hurry to be like, well, it's all going to be digital now, so what's the point in having this? No. No, I will be keeping everything that I have, because some of the stuff in that collection, again, is some rare stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking about movies right now, but like the same thing's been happening to video games for the last 5 to 10 years. Like I used to work at an EB Games, and 98% of the store was video games or console peripherals, controllers, and things like that. And now you walk into an EB Games,
pop figures and t-shirts.
It's 50% video games and perifерals. And the rest is like board games and stuffies and
action figures and
collectibles and
mugs and
the any disked media is going the way of the dodo because of digital media.
Well, and part of the issue with EB Games is that their prices are so jacked still on used games, right? Like you try to trade in a game and they give you peanuts for it.
Yeah.
And then they try to sell it for way more than it's worth.
Yeah, you're better selling that stuff on your own.
Every time I go into an EB Games and I look at the used game stuff, I'm like, I'm pretty sure, like, this is a used disc, and I'm pretty sure it's like $5 cheaper on the Xbox store.
Yeah.
Like, this is,
Well, the sales on the Xbox store get pretty ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Like 50, 60% off a year or two after the game's release. Just
70, 80% if it's like the Black Friday or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it looks like physical media is coming to an end quickly. Mm-hmm. Which is a beautiful segue. I know you like the segues.
Yeah, segues. Sometimes I wish we did more of them. Good segues.
A beautiful segue into our second topic, which is Netflix. And this is something that's going to surprise the listener in many cases, because the listener is going to be sitting there going, wait, that was still a thing? Netflix has officially shipped their final DVD in the Netflix DVD rental service. Now, some super young people listening are going to go, wait, what? Because to them, Netflix has always just been a streaming service. No. Netflix started out with little red envelopes that they would send through the mail. You would subscribe. I think there was a couple of different subscription levels you could be at. And depending on the level you were at, that was how many discs you could get at a time. And you would basically, you'd go on the website and there'd be a queue. Right? You'd put movies into your queue, and, let's say you were subscribed to the highest tier, then they would send you the top 3 movies from your queue, and they would come in the mail in an envelope, and you would watch them, and you'd put them back in the same red envelope, and you'd send them back, and then as soon as you sent those 3 back, they would send you the next 3 in your queue. And this was like, even before everyone's like, oh, well, streaming was the death of Blockbuster and video rental stores. This was the beginning of that for sure.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of the death of going to the store and picking out what you wanted to watch. Did you ever, were you ever a Netflix DVD in the mail?
I was not, but I was close friends with a few people who were, so I'd seen them and understood.
Yeah.
How
What
it
about
worked.
GameFly? You remember GameFly?
No, I never did GameFly either.
Which was basically the same thing. It was just for games. They would just mail you the game. But it's still been going on for Netflix up until last week when Netflix said, nope, okay, we're done. And not only did they say, hey, we're done, they said, look, any movies that you have, any discs that you have right now, just keep them. Like, don't bother sending them back.
We do want them.
In many cases, because now Netflix has this library of discs, if you opted into, I guess there was something you could opt into for whatever, and if you did so, then they are now going to send you or have sent you like 8 to 10 discs of movies that were in your queue.
They're just giving them away.
Well, that's funny. What are they going to do with them? So it's a good day to be a Netflix disc subscriber.
Yeah.
Because you're getting some stuff. But yeah, this one feels less like...
This is less of a hit to the... This seems... It's kind of in line with our last topic, but it's more in line with just Netflix in general, and the fact that they're focusing solely on streaming, and where they're focused.
Well, yeah, it feels like. I mean, it's certainly the end of an era.
Yeah,
it is the end of an era for Netflix. It is the end of an era for the film world, but also, like I said, the end of an era that many people didn't realize was still even
happening.
An era, right?
This is interesting. Did you sent the article? So I assume this must have got you kind of perked your interest. You went ooh when you saw it. That the article says the first DVD that
was
Netflix shipped was Beetlejuice in '98.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I mean,
you being
as
a big
it should be
Beetlejuice fan,
as it should be. So, but yeah, it's a little sad, but also it's not sad in the sense that it affects most of us, but just sad in the sense that it's one more sign of the times that gone are those days, and they're not coming back.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Speaking of end of days, another segue.
Oh, jeez, okay, you're just moving on. All right. So there's a situation in Hollywood the last little while, which has been strikes. Started out with the writer's strike, which swiftly turned into an actor's strike, which really put the brakes on in Hollywood. Right, the writer's strike was irritating and a bit of an inconvenience for productions. The actor's strike just would put a halt on everything.
You could tell the photo at the top of this headline. I'm just going to jump in real quick. You could tell they're writers because they got little soft hands. They've got duct tape on their strike sticks.
Wow.
Holding the wood is too abrasive. Let's put duct tape on all the sides.
I mean, if you're going to do that day in and day out, you don't think you'd want a softer handle?
I'd be fine with a wooden handle, I think.
For days and days on end, 8 hours a day for days on end? I don't know, man. Anyways, the writer's strike.
Bunch of wusses.
The strike that started it all has come to an end. after 146 days.
Yeah, that's quite a few days.
That's a big strike.
Yeah.
It is the second longest strike in Hollywood history. It was a big deal, man. It has now come to an end. They have reached an agreement, and the writers are going back to work. The writers are actually now back to work. Now, it's a little bittersweet because the writers are now back to work writing for shows that still cannot shoot because, well, we don't have any actors. But it is like the machine is starting to turn again.
We can bring in scabs.
And once the actors are back, we'll be ready to go in full steam. So let's just read through here what exactly this agreement they've reached says. Following the leadership's vote to end the strike and recommend the membership ratify the contract, the WGA released details of the new agreement via a simplified memorandum. I always struggle with that word, of agreement, or an MOA. We can say with great pride that this deal is exceptional with meaningful gains and the protections for writers in every sector of the membership they announced. The exact language of the contract is yet to be released, but from the WGA summary, it appears the union was successful in its effort. The MOA includes increases to minimum wage and compensation, increased pension and health fund rates, improvements to terms for length of employment and the size of writing teams, which had been shrinking drastically in recent years, and better residuals, which are like royalties, including foreign streaming residuals. The MOA also lays out terms for artificial intelligence, with an agreement that doesn't prevent writers or productions from making use of generative AI, but prohibits using software to reduce or eliminate writers and their pay. A writer can choose to use AI when performing writing services if the company consents, and provided that the writer follows applicable company policies, but the company can't require the writer to use AI software, for example, ChatGPT, when performing writing services. Which also basically covers... So basically what that means is a writer can write a script, write a bunch of dialogue, and then have AI go through and make it more concise or clean it up a bit or suggest better ways that this could be communicated or more interesting ways that this could be communicated. But a studio can't require a writer to use AI, right? Okay. And therefore shortening the amount of time that the writer is working and then needing to pay them less. And a studio also cannot make a script simply using AI. They can't be like, well, we don't need writers because we're just going to get ChatGPT to write this. So basically it works out in the favor of the writers that, hey, this is a tool at your disposal if you choose to use it. No one can make you use it, and it cannot replace you. Which is...
Seems valid.
That's one of the big things they were after. The other big thing that they were after, obviously, was the residuals, right? In terms and that's one of the big debates right now in the actors' strike, right? Is, okay, the landscape has changed again. Now we're dealing with streaming. And we have not set up a proper structure for how we're going to get paid every time something we were in was streamed. The same way that we would have got paid every time, the show we were in aired on TV.
Right.
So, Carl, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts specifically on the AI component of this and also residuals? What are your thoughts on actors and writers getting residuals for streaming now that the landscape has changed and streaming is the predominant consumption of media?
Well, the AI stuff, like, yeah, all that, like what they shouldn't be forced to use AI. And I don't know if I don't like if a studio wants to use AI instead of a writer. I don't know if that's a horrible thing. I mean, they're out. Somebody's not getting a job, but I mean, if you're a good writer, you're gonna probably be able to write better than AI, hopefully, potentially. But I mean, hopefully. At the same time, AI is getting better and better every day because it's AI. It's kind of
it's how it works.
To kind of learn and get better, right? Yeah. Like the first AI images we got, necks and arms and the posture of people in terms of goofy. AI art were like very obvious that, okay, that forearm is longer than the other one. This is AI art. This is obvious, right? But it's getting like now it's almost indistinguishable. It's really good. And it's only been, it hasn't even been a year, I don't think, since the first AI art kind of started hitting the scene. Has it? Like, it was like just this past winter.
It hasn't been long.
Yeah. So on one hand, I can see the artist being like, no, like this is our job. You should be hiring us. But on the other hand, you know, like a company should be able to choose how it does business. So
yeah, that's a slippery slope.
It feels a little bit of a strong arm from the writers and to force studios to hire them, but at the same time, I think there is a bit of a point made there.
The reason why that seems like a slippery slope to me is then what if you're dealing with an animated project where you also, like, AI text to voice is also getting spooky good. And it won't be long before you decide, yeah, we don't need any voice actors.
Yeah.
Right? We're just going to have AI do it. We'll just put the script into AI and generate it, 20 times and pick the ones we like the best. Chop that together.
And there's a potential we'll end up there eventually anyway. Right? Like,
that's what these strikes are about.
If you think about like where a lot of our ideas for future tech kind of come from or are borrowed from, they're usually borrowed from things like Star Trek and Star Wars, and then those kind of push us in those kind of directions to see if science will allow us to go that way. And what is the holodeck if not an AI generated thing based around a made up or known property?
But here's the thing, though. Do you not think that, and maybe this is like, this will certainly be an individual taste thing and what the consumption of media means to each individual person. But to me, if I was watching an animated feature and I knew that it was written by a computer and all the voices that I was hearing were just generated by a computer, I think I would lose, that would lose meaning to me as a piece of art. Right? Like, I would just go, okay,
if it's now animated, I don't know.
Now I'm just being fed by the machine. Now I'm just consuming because, like, it becomes very like the humans living on that space station in WALL-E type of thing, where I'm like, humanity and civilization has lost all whatever, and this is just
there's no humanity in it anymore. It's just created by a machine, right?
Content for the sake of content.
I think that would be a good counterpoint and argument to it, for sure. Yeah. But I definitely think that we're gonna eventually get products that are purely computer made, with no, where the human input is just the same thing you need to do, make like a chat GPT thing. Like, you give the computer parameters, essentially just like like I made the holodeck reference. Like how much of a Trekkie are you? How much do I have to explain this?
Like 0.2%.
That's how much of a Trekkie you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I know nothing.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Trekkie, but I've watched a number of shows. So from my recollection of how a holodeck work is they walk up to the door of the holodeck, at the computer, they input essentially like what they want the holodeck to create. Holodeck create the story of Huck Finn where I play Huck. And then they walk in and the story starts unfolding. And they can play it however they want, and the holodeck will react around their actions. Essentially, AI art, right? Like it's using a real world property, but as soon as you do something that character wouldn't do, the whole program starts shifting and doing something different based on your own choices. So like I can see some products in the probably not the near future. I'd say maybe in the next 20 years though, where we'll probably get something that is, you know, like the person who made it just was like, I want a female lead and a male protagonist, and I want it to be sci-fi, and I want but I don't want space travel, and I want, you know what I mean? Like they're just going to put in parameters, and then the AI will make it, and it will be put out to the world to view and enjoy or shred to pieces.
And ultimately, I think that'll come down to what agreements are in place and whether or not that's something they're allowed to do.
Yeah, but I think it'll happen. It'll happen anyway, because all those agreements, they only pertain to Hollywood. We still have India, Bollywood, China puts out stuff. Like there are a lot of other places that can make this content that don't give a crap about this whole writer strike and
for sure,
Guild strike.
But it will see less widespread like consumption than obviously North American markets and
potentially
like that, right?
I don't know. Like, have you like dove into the darks of Netflix? There's a lot of stuff from Bollywood in there.
No, but like you just said it right there, because that content requires delving deep.
Yeah, but something like that will create enough stir, people will search for it.
Sure, but that doesn't mean it'll be good and they'll like it and want to watch it. But
what was the other? There was another question there. That was
just the residuals, whether or not actors should be actors and writers should be
contract to contract. I think it's ridiculous to demand residuals for everybody. Like if you're like, if you're a good enough writer, then you're going to get residuals. If you're not, then you're going to be contract to contract, and I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody should immediately get residuals.
All right. Moving on to something a little sad. Actor Michael Gambon has passed away at 82 years old. So a full life, a long life, but sometimes now, like we were talking about the age of Michael Caine and stuff like that last week, and how old, like he's 90, right? Dick Van Dyke is 97 and still like goes to the gym and works out and dances and does all this. Like Dick Van Dyke's the new Betty White. But so in some ways you hear 82 and it's like, okay, he lived a good life. He was old, stuff like that. But 82 nowadays also kind of feels a little like, feels a little young. It feels like, he could have had another good 10 years there. But I just want to go briefly through Michael Gambon's career. Obviously, the most people are going to know him as the replacement of Richard Harris as Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series. Not my favorite Dumbledore. I think the softness and gentleness and kind kind of elusive aspect of Richard Harris's Dumbledore, to me, was something I enjoyed more. But I do understand that I think Michael Gambon's was probably a little bit more book accurate anyways. So I don't know either way. I think the first thing I ever saw Michael Gambon in was the Robin Williams movie Toys. Have you seen Toys?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, he plays the army lieutenant, the general that is trying
to militarize the toys.
Militarizing all the toys and making life chaotic for everyone. He's kind of the antagonist of that movie, I guess. Weird movie. I like it, but anyone I've ever shown it to...
it's very stylized.
Yes. Yeah. But anyone I've ever shown that movie to, they're like, I don't like it. But it's got Jamie Foxx is in that movie, man. Jamie Foxx is in it. Joan Cusack. It's not a little indie whatever.
LL Cool J.
Robin Williams, man.
Yeah,
LL Cool J's in it. Blake Clark is in it. So I don't know. I like Toys. Screw everyone else.
I liked it. Yeah, I'm with you.
And then he's been in a smattering of other things. He was in the second Kingsman movie. He took over for Michael Caine's character when Michael Caine's character turned out to be the big baddie. Surprise. Spoilers of the first Kingsman. He did a voice in the wildly, inexplicably successful Paddington movies. And just a bunch of little other, not little films, but a bunch of more. I mean, he was a British, he's an Irish actor, and he was in a lot of British films. So things that maybe our audiences have not been as exposed to. But is there a standout role for you? Like when you think of Michael Gambon as an actor, what role do you think of?
He did some voice work for an Elder Scrolls game for Morrowind. That's cool. Oh man. Yeah, he's got a laundry list of great work here.
Yeah.
Man. It'd be hard to pick, I think. I don't know. A lot of these, like Book of Eli, I feel like thinking about that movie, he must have been the older gentleman at the end that was transcribing the Bible as Eli was saying it. So like that, he's got a role in that, but it's not a big role, even though it's
an important one, but not a big
important one. Yeah. But man, yeah. I don't know. In terms of a predominant role, I would say that, Dumbledore, like the Harry Potter films that he was in, I guess would be the most predominant that I've.
Yeah, and you certainly wouldn't be alone in saying that. That became his most iconic sort of, financially successful.
Just scrolling through, there's a lot here.
Yeah, Book of Eli.
The Omen.
There's a lot of people in the Morrowind game, eh?
Pardon?
In the Morrowind game, there's a lot of people.
Tim
Curry was in it.
Yeah.
That's
they bring in some
quite a cast. He was in Sleepy Hollow. So yeah, very sad. But yeah, incredible collection of work that he'll be remembered for. So yeah, there's not much else to say. It's just whenever someone big and iconic passes away in Hollywood, I like to include it in the show notes because it seems a little weird to just not mention it or pretend it hasn't happened. So, all right, moving on to a topic that I think Carl shall be interested and excited for.
Indeed.
Marvel. Have you heard of Marvel?
No, never. Who is it?
I think they do like Green Lantern, Batman.
Oh, is that who does those?
Aquaman. I think so. Maybe Howard the Duck.
Oh, Maybe. They do Howard the Duck. I love Howard the Duck. He's my favoriteest of all time.
Power Rangers. Not Beetleborgs. Beetleborgs is too good for Marvel. No, so Marvel, something we've been talking about literally ever since, something every fan has been talking about ever since Marvel acquired Fox, was obviously Fantastic Four, obviously what was going to happen with Deadpool, but the X-Men. The X-Men has been on everyone's minds. When is it coming? Who's going to be in it? What story are they going to do? How are they going to make sense of mutants? How are they going to introduce mutants or explain the existence of mutants within the MCU? Have they always been there? If so, where have they been? Or is it going to be something new that happens? They just get introduced. And if so, maybe that makes a little more sense in a timeline standpoint, but also does that devalue the rich history of mutants and what the battle and struggle is and what, like, there's so many questions. How are they going to handle this? What are they going to do? My big theory back during Multiverse of Madness was that we were going to get a House of M storyline. Right? Yeah. That at one point in the past, Wanda had said no more mutants and they all just disappeared. And then she was going to bring them all back, and Multiverse of Madness was where they were going to get reintroduced. Obviously, that didn't happen, which is fine.
Is it? They did kind of get reintroduced a little bit with Professor X.
I mean, we get Professor X.
He died like a chump.
Yeah, well, it was a different. Yeah, it was a different universes.
Different universe as well. Yeah,
yeah. But Marvel is now officially looking for writers. The time has come. We're moving on this.
All right, let's throw our hat into the ring, Brady.
Well, I'm just going to use AI.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use AI.
Apparently you
to submit my script.
The writer can choose to do so.
Yeah. Interesting question for you. I mean, obviously they could get anybody to write this, right? Like the sky's the limit. There's so many different writers out there. The question I want to pose for you is, of the pre-existing MCU properties, what Marvel film do you look at and say, ooh, get whoever wrote that. Whoever wrote that should come write the X-Men.
I think, oh man. It'd either have to be Winter Soldier, or I guess it's Winter.
Yeah, because of the political writing.
Well, the political writing, but just like it was just a super well written screenplay. Like I think it had good pacing. We talked about this last week, right? Like how Marvel films are just like bang, 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 like just super fast paced. That one had some pretty decent kind of lulls where they did some character development, and character work and dramatic scenes and kind of like you were saying, like political scenes. Where kind of fleshed out the story without needing somebody getting punched in the face, right?
Yeah.
And the movie still felt like it moved well, and just told. It was just a really well told story, but I think outside of that, the only other ones I could think of would be the Guardians of the Galaxies. But I mean, you're not going to get that writer anymore because he's gone.
He gone.
He's got.
Yeah, you're not going to get James Gunn.
Unless he did anybody help him write those?
I mean, I don't. You get people credited, obviously, like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in those. But no, I think the majority of the writing on those was James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 4 other names past his that I'm not familiar with that wrote the screenplay, but his comes first, so he'd probably be the most predominant.
Yeah. For me, I think you get, and this may even be a name that's attached to some of the Guardians movies. I think you get Jim Starlin. So Jim Starlin is he's a comic book nerd. Okay, yeah, he did help with some of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. He also has a writing credit on Infinity War. He has a writing credit for What If. He has a writing credit for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. He has a writing credit for Thor: Love and Thunder. But the reason why... Oh, okay, so interesting. Who is... So he is... Why does he have a writing credit on those? Oh. You ready for this?
Listening.
He is the creator. So maybe you don't get this guy. I mean, he's going to get a writing credit no matter what you do. So this guy, Jim Starlin. Apparently he was a big up at Marvel. So Jim Starlin is credited on the Guardians of the Galaxy films because he is the creator of Drax and Gamora.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He's credited in Shang-Chi because he is the creator of Shang-Chi. He's credited in Infinity War not only because he's the creator of Gamora and Drax, he's the creator of Thanos.
Co-creator, yeah. I'm reading his wiki now, yeah.
That's a big deal. So I don't know who you get. I don't know who you get.
He also revamped Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock for the current comic book age.
I mean, there are enough MCU films back in the day. Like, I want to get back to basics. And I think you need to get back to basics because I want X-Men to get off on the right foot here. I don't think you could get Joss Whedon back. But if you could, I think that would be a really sweet way to go. Joss Whedon, having written the first Avengers, he wrote Age of Ultron. Joss Whedon could be a really great way to go.
Yeah.
But then I think...
I like Joss Whedon.
Everyone got soured to Joss Whedon when he went over and redirected, edited, changed up Justice League.
Yeah.
After Zack Snyder's departure. So I don't know. But are you excited to hear that the wheels are moving? The gears are turning?
It's pretty exciting. It'd be interesting to see how they introduce them because of the, it's a very well established universe now. And it'd be weird to just like poof, all of a sudden there's mutants everywhere. Just like for some whatever reason, snap, there's mutants. Because one of the things that makes the struggle for the mutants kind of interesting is that they've been around for a long time in the with Magneto being a mutant during the Holocaust. Like that shapes who Magneto is as an antagonist.
Now,
right? Like
they've been around for a long time, but also, so here's the thing. You could not they've been around for a long time, but because of the struggle, for the most part, they've been around keeping to themselves, hiding in the shadows. Right? Like, Xavier School is it's not a public advertised, hey, this is where all the mutants go to school.
No, but in the universe that has been created, like, it would feel weird for them to just start appearing and then use the logic that says that you're kind of presenting, saying, hey, we're coming out of the shadows, but we've been here the whole time. And it's like, what? Where?
Yeah, I don't think they could be there the whole time. No.
Because,
and obviously the Holocaust storyline is out.
Because mutants in the Marvel universe, in the comic book universe, they're not all Jean Grey, Scott Summers, or
no.
Should I use cycle? You know, like they're not all like human look. Like you've got like night crawlers and you
Beast.
know like who can't beast. They can't hide their mutation. Like these, it would be very odd. Like the way we didn't get a lot of like normal people reacting to all of a sudden there being superpowered people in the world. Throughout the MCU so far, but when we do get those little tidbits of it, there's kind of like a whoa, this is new and crazy, right? Like unexpected and unbelievable. Like if mutants were part of this universe for a long period of time while we've traveled through it and never seen them, it would not be so shocking to see Thor.
Yeah. No, true.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel obviously the Holocaust storyline is out. Our Magneto will not have lived through the Holocaust,
which would be which is very disappointing.
But like, based on a timeline standpoint.
Yeah, but how do you shape that character without that crucial moment?
I mean, you just shift it, right? You find some other Holocaust. Well, no, it was some other. You make them not Jewish,
I don't know.
And you like I don't know. You do something else.
To me, that's intrinsic to who he is and the decisions he makes.
Right, but there's no way he'd be 90 in.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
but I'm like. It'd be in my mind. It would be hard to rewrite that character and do him any justice without that backstory.
Yeah,
right. Because it shapes his distrust for humanity and why,
for sure,
and why he feels like even though it's like even though his viewpoint is essentially the exact same as Hitler's in that. The Aryan race was superior and he views mutant race as superior. Like, but it's just intrinsic to his character, in my opinion. So it'd be damn near impossible to do him justice without that.
Well, they're going to have to get creative, I guess.
Or just leave him on the cutting room floor, which would also be a huge shame.
I don't know how you do the X-Men without Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are other antagonists, but like he's usually the big one.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our final topic. James Gunn, which we were just recently talking about. Segue. is giving us a little more details and sort of doubling down and confirming some details about his upcoming DCU. Some things that we've been wondering. Because we didn't know. Is this a soft reboot? Is it a hard reboot? Is it not a reboot? What is happening? Who is continuing on? Who is not continuing on? So, what we've discovered we've discovered three things recently from the mouth of James Gunn. Number one, James Gunn says, big news regarding the DCU is coming. He hasn't said what that is, but big news is coming soon. My guess is it's a Batman casting. Because I don't, like, what other big news is everyone waiting for right now? Right? So I think we're going to find out who Batman is sooner than later. Excuse me. One cough with COVID during the whole episode is that's a good track record. I'm happy about that. The second thing we've discovered is which actors that currently exist in our DCEU are going to still exist playing the same characters moving forward. Number one, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is not changing. The actor that we just had in the Blue Beetle film is going to be the actor playing Blue Beetle moving forward. Number two, obviously, John Cena is going to play Peacemaker moving forward. We knew that there was a second season of Peacemaker somewhere in the pipeline, so that's not super surprising. And number three, and the least surprising, obviously, is that Viola Davis is playing Amanda Waller. We knew that.
Yeah.
Somehow she just traverses the multiverse as Amanda Waller. She's Amanda Waller everywhere. Interestingly, though, and this is the part that confirms, is this a hard reboot, a soft reboot, not a reboot? What is going on? And it also plays a little bit of an impact on the actors that we just mentioned. James Gunn has said, prior to Creature Commandos, which is the first project that's coming out under James Gunn's new DCU, the animated film, or TV series, I guess, coming out. Prior to that, nothing is canon. So it is a hard reboot. Which means season 1 of Peacemaker is not canon. It means that although John Cena is playing Peacemaker, it's not the same Peacemaker. Although Viola Davis is still playing Amanda Waller, it's not the same Amanda Waller. Probably very similar, but not the exact same Amanda Waller. The things that we've seen Amanda Waller say and do up until that point are irrelevant. They're not canon. Most interestingly, I think, is the Blue Beetle one. The actor that we just had playing Blue Beetle is still going to be Blue Beetle moving forward, but that Blue Beetle film that just came out is not canon. It doesn't count. He's a different Blue Beetle. Probably, I would guess, they're going to change his outfit. Like, they're going to make him look different. Right? I think you would do that, and you would do that as well with Peacemaker, which is why I think Peacemaker, when Peacemaker Season 2 comes out, I don't think it'll be Peacemaker Season 2. I think they're going to do the same thing that they're doing with the Daredevil series, right? Where it will be Peacemaker and then with, like, a subtitle underneath it. Right? It won't be Peacemaker Season 2. It'll be a new Peacemaker series. Right. Acknowledging that the events in the first season, like what they're doing with Daredevil, they're like, okay, same actor, slightly different Daredevil. The Netflix thing doesn't count. So
maybe I'm not giving other people enough credit. Like I've said before, I think on this podcast. Anyway, it's my personal opinion that studios need to give people more credit when it comes to some stuff. Like, I think I talked about it when we were first talking about what we're hoping for this DCU, where I was saying, like, just act like these people have always been here and jump right in the story. Don't give us our origin story. Give the viewer the benefit of the doubt that they know what the hell's going on, and they'll just understand it.
Well, nothing here says that these are going to be origins.
Maybe what I'm about to say, I'm not doing that. I'm kind of going against my own judgment. But doesn't this feel messy? Like people are going to get confused and not understand?
I don't think so.
Like to me, so like in this thing, yeah, he talks like some actors will. This is James Gunn quote from this article. You didn't give me an article, so I just Google searched what the title you gave in the show notes. But he says, yes, some actors will be playing characters they played in other stories, and some plot points might be consistent with plot points from dozens of other films and shows and animated projects. But nothing is canon until CC and Legacy, which is Creature Commandos and Superman.
Yeah.
But like, we just got Blue Beetle, and we get a Blue Beetle a new Blue Beetle a few years from now, a new Blue Beetle feature film. Same actor, different costume. Those two things don't tell me it's a different universe, because Batman is always in a different costume, even if he's in the same universe, if it's the same story from movie to movie. Like Christian Bale didn't wear the same Bat uniform throughout the whole series. It always evolved and changed. So that doesn't tell me as a viewer, if I'm not following the news, if I'm not up to this, that doesn't tell me that this is a different universe.
No, but I think they'll do enough. Like the fact that it's a different suit, that everybody else is different. I don't know.
But that just, I don't know. For me, that's like, if I'm not a comic book nerd, which I don't know why I'm going to see Blue Beetle if I'm not.
Right.
But if I watched the first one, I was like, oh, hey, this is a cool character I've never heard of before. This is fun. And then a few years later, I go down, sit down, and it's same character, little bit different uniform, but like nothing from the first film is acknowledged in any way somehow for whatever reason, or even if it is acknowledged, but like there's apparently some weird differences. You know what I mean? Like if they veer from the story of the first Blue Beetle film somehow because they didn't like the way it was written, or they didn't like the way the character developed that way, so they kind of just like cut it because this is the new Blue Beetle and they're not the same Blue Beetle, they're different.
Right.
That would be jarring, in my opinion, if it's obvious.
So here's the counter argument.
This is where I think I'm not giving the viewer enough, like I'm not treating the viewer as being intelligent enough to understand what the hell's going on. I think
here's the counter argument.
I can't not think that way. I think
Judi Dench.
What about her?
Judi Dench was M in the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films,
right?
And they brought her back as M in the Daniel Craig James Bond films, even though the Daniel Craig James Bond films were clearly a hard reboot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody had an issue with that. Nobody was confused.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You're bringing her back.
This is what I'm saying. This is where I'm reading the story and reading James Gunn's quotes here, and I feel like this is going to be super confusing for people that aren't in the know or absorb the content the way I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time there, like I think I'm seeing my own bias.
Yeah.
And realizing that, okay, no, people aren't stupid. They're gonna figure it out.
I think if you were to, I mean, and the same thing happened with like people were able to wrap their head around, okay, this J.K. Simmons is not the same J. Jonah.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it'd be a different story if we were talking about like, it's this, it's still Ben Affleck as Batman, but it's not the same Batman. I think that would be problematic. I think the fact that you have characters like Amanda Waller.
I think the biggest kind of counterpoint to yours, and I don't think this still doesn't hold water. I think I'm like, I've already talked myself out of believing that it's going to be a problem. So like, we're just arguing semantics here essentially. But like the arguments that you're using are all side characters. They're not based.
They're side characters.
Yeah, they're not on about the main character themselves. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just.
And I think a lot of people don't even like if you're just a casual. If you're a casual DC viewer, there's a good chance that you still don't even fully understand who Amanda Waller is, and so you don't really care.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's a good chance you didn't go see Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
There's a good chance you didn't watch Pacemaker. Or Pacemaker.
Like
Peacemaker.
One of the big rumors is that Gal Gadot will be coming back as Wonder Woman.
And I don't believe it. I don't think she will.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why not include that in your announcement here? If you're sitting here trying to clear things up, as James Gunn.
In the article I've brought up, James Gunn there's a quote here that says it's very human drive to want to understand everything all the time, but it's okay to be confused on what's happening with DCU since no one has seen.
No one's seen anything yet. Yeah.
But yeah, just like in kind of the same, like I was using Blue Beetle as a kind of benchmark for the confusion. Like Wonder Woman's been around for a lot of stuff. And if Gal Gadot gets to play her again, that I think you have more opportunity for confusion than you do with Blue Beetle because she's been in more stuff.
Yeah, I think that would create confusion.
But yeah, I don't know. This article has a little section here that a one sentence paragraph says that the DCU EU actress Gal Gadot was recently quoted as saying she was told by James Gunn and Peter Safran that they are gonna develop a Wonder Woman 3 together.
Yeah, and I think
so that's a quote from Gadot, but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I still think that may have been her misreading what I think that may have been James Gunn saying, we definitely want to work with you again in the future. And her reading into that and, drawing her own conclusions. And then
if her quoting them is gonna develop Wonder Woman 3 together, if she's not misquoting them, then.
But I think she is misquoting them. Like, I don't think that's actually what they said to her.
Wow.
But we'll see.
We don't know. Nobody knows.
We don't know. Nobody knows.
We're still as confused and lost as we were 6 months ago about the DCU.
Yeah, and in the words of James Gunn, that's okay.
No, it's not. I want
it's
to
okay.
know.
All right. Well, that's everything. That's all I got. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X. All listed below. Check out our Patreon page for as little as $1 a month. You can support the show and you get some fun stuff in return. And we have merch.
We don't have pillowcases. Why don't we have pillowcases?
I don't know.
What if people want to
do we have actual pillows though?
I think there is a pillow.
Yeah, there's a pillow.
But that's like a throw pillow. You don't go to bed with a throw pillow.
You have a nap with a throw pillow.
I suppose. That's not.
We're movie men. That's all there's time for. You don't have time for an actual good night of sleep. We just take naps when and where we can.
I sleep
like
a normal person.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. It's been
that's
years.
You keep getting COVID.
That's true. It's so true.